Robin Praino, welcome to Heart of the City.
Thank you. Thank you.
Robin, Rob.
I know.
I mean, what do we say here? I don't know.
You can call me whatever you want
Okay.
to. Yeah.
No, I don't believe that. Actually,
Yeah,
I was about to say like Robbie or like knowing me.
No. If I had it to do over again, I'd probably fully go by Robin again. But,
Robin.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I like that. I can adapt it. Love it. Okay. Well, for those of you who don't know the amazing Robin Praino, he is an incredible interior designer. But you have a really cool career history. You were radio. You were, some people might know you from Common House,
Right.
back to radio,
Right.
and all along you were doing your interiors.
I
So
was.
can't
Yeah.
wait to dive into all the things.
Yeah. I've been a storied past in Chattanooga.
Right. I love it. It's so good. And
Yeah.
it's been honestly kind of eclectic like your design style.
Really
so
has.
I feel like it's just fitting.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk through. So radio is really where your career started, right?
It is, yeah. So, and I kind of got into that accidentally, to be frank. So, when I was in college, I originally went to school for communications, and then decided I didn't want to take several years of foreign language, and decided to switch my concentration to business.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was kind of an overarching like marketing business degree, and I wanted to get into pharmaceutical sales.
Oh.
Back in the day, like I won't
Okay.
say how old I am, but a lot of people know how old I am. Back in the day, like that was a lot of people were getting into that industry.
Okay.
It was a great career path. There was lots of growth in that, and it you got a free, company car, felt really
yeah.
great when you're 20 years old.
Totally.
So that was my goal, and it was really hard to break into for some folks. I was one of the people that just couldn't get into it. So I thought, all right, some of the like headhunters were telling me, go get sales experience somewhere else, and then then you'll be a shoo-in. So I was like, all right, well, what could I do? And I kind of fell into radio.
Wow.
Just so rando, but
It is, but also so cool.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
not everyone can say they worked in radio because it's not like one of those like it's not a nurse, it's not a doctor, it's not a staying career. Like I think radio at some point in life might not be a thing, whereas like other
Possible.
industries will that's so cool. Okay, so radio, then you ventured to really kind of still sales, but the Common House world.
Yeah, I kind of bounced around. I bounced in and out of radio. So I started in radio my senior year of college, kind of the last semester of college. And I stayed there, had a phenomenal group of people that I worked with, like really, really great people. Management, the sales people that I worked with really kind of taught me what I was doing and just had a great time. So I did that for probably 8 years.
Oh, wow.
For 7 or 8 years. And then I bounced out. I was kind of tired of the whole thing. I just
Yeah.
needed a change.
Yeah.
I got restless. And so I scooted over to a company called Living Social, which
right.
is blast from the past.
Yeah. And like, wait, I just blacked out like a whole portion of your career that I really know you for.
Totally okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, no. So I scooted over to a company
Gosh.
called Living Social, which was like back in 2008 when the economy tanked. Groupon, Living Social, a
Dude.
bunch of like coupon things popped up.
And was
because-
Living Social nationwide?
It was.
It was. Yeah. I remember it. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I joined, they were based in DC.
Wow.
They started over a Hooters in like Chinatown in DC.
Wait, what?
Initially, like their core first like 20 employees, and then eventually started like buying or renting or something. All the buildings, all like the second and third floors over all the buildings in Chinatown. So I think when I joined the company, I was in the first like 200 to 300 employees or something like that.
Yeah.
I was there for like 1.5 to 2 years, and I basically like introduced Living Social to the Chattanooga market because I had all this experience working with local business owners, right? My job was to sell to local, regional business owners. So I had the connections and it made sense.
Right.
So I introduced that to the market and then eventually kind of moved up and became a regional sales manager and managed teams throughout kind of Tennessee, Kentucky area,
Okay.
which was kind of cool. So I did that for, I guess, two years-ish.
Wow.
And then radio lured me back and did that for another 5 or 6 years
Wow.
in like a senior role. And then, the world threw Common House in my lap.
So at what point in this did you start Robin Praino Interiors?
Yeah, good question. So I officially like formed my business in 2015.
Okay.
I had been doing it, kind of for fun, a little bit casually for friends, helping friends on the side. I was the kid that always was rearranging my room.
Oh my gosh.
My parents would go out on date nights, then I'd babysit my siblings, and they would come home, and the whole house would be like rearranged.
No,
like
wait, that's so cute. That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's kind of just been something I've always loved. I had an
Wow.
architecture kit when I was a kid, and so it's been something I've always enjoyed, and it just started to snowball, to be honest.
Man.
I decided at some point I was like, okay, I really need to like lean into this and figure out how I can do something with it, and do it more regularly. So I formed the business in 2015 while I was still in radio.
Yeah. So like, what were there any reservations when you were like, let's lean into this? Like, were you kind of like, no, I already have a job, I don't have time, or like, what was your biggest reservation in like really making it a business, even if it was on the side for a while?
It's a great question. I think my biggest reservation, which a lot of people in design, you kind of follow a couple of different paths. When you go into design, you either go to school with a design focus, you get a degree in interior design where they teach you the fundamentals of design, right? Or you get into design in a couple of other ways because you love it, it's in your soul, because somebody threw you into it. There's a couple different ways to get into it. So my reservation probably was that I didn't have the formal training in design.
So it was like imposter syndrome.
Kind of, yeah, for sure. Which I think a lot of people in a lot of industries
struggle with. Yes.
There are so many people in the design world that have illustrious careers and create the most beautiful spaces that are self-taught, that have learned from other people in the business, that have, kind of built their way up. So there was, I have a lot of great friends and I've had great mentors over the years. And so, both trained and untrained.
Yeah.
So it encouraged me just to kind of keep pushing.
Yeah.
Keep doing it.
So you ran your design business on the side of other jobs for how many years? Almost 10, right?
10. Yeah. Yeah. From 2015 until 2025.
Wow. Okay. So at what point in that 10 years did you really start thinking, man, I would love to shift to doing this full time?
Yeah, that's a really good question too. Probably 2018, 2019.
Okay. So fairly early.
Yeah, fairly early. I was, really wanting to dive in, to leave a career that you've built over the long haul.
Yeah,
is
that's
tough.
stability.
There's stability. You've got a great network of people. You've got a steady paycheck.
Even just routine.
Yeah,
just
routine.
the reliable routine of it all. You're just like, wait, do I even want to be like floundering out here by myself? Or so you think,
Or
like
so you
worst case
think.
scenario. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's scary.
So
Entrepreneurship
scary.
is exciting and terrifying.
Terrifying.
all at
It
the same
is. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So one thing I always found fascinating about your career path is like radio. You did the Living Social thing. You dabbled in advertising. There were some moments there. Then you did Common House. And that was a big, I feel like that's more when I got to know you well. So I feel like that to me is a big era for you, but probably not really. But I mean, maybe so to some extent in your career.
Right.
But then you went back to radio and you already had been doing that. So it's like, was there something about the comfortability of just going back to something you knew while you were continuing to build something?
There was, yeah. So yeah, when we really became very well acquainted, I had shifted into Common House, having built a career in this market, getting to know so many people in this town, my connections were very much my currency, right? So that was a big part of what attracted me to Common House.
Yeah, totally.
I found over the course of several projects over the last 10 to 15 years, I enjoyed like introducing a concept to a market.
Yeah.
And so Common House provided the opportunity to take the experience that I had with, with community building, with getting to know people, with connecting people, with bringing something to the market that had not yet been here. COVID had just hit. I joined the company, me and my colleague at the time had just joined the company in middle of February.
That's insane.
Of 2020. And like 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, COVID hit. And we're like, wait, we're opening a social club in the middle of a pandemic? What are we doing? But it was a really awesome experience.
It really,
It was a great part of my career, kind of career growth. And it really, really helped me get to know even more people in this
So
town.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
I
really
mean,
was
yeah,
great.
so well connected. That is amazing.
Yeah, I don't know what the real question was. I think I just
Oh, well, I
tangented
think
off.
just like I always wondered if there was, I mean, if that was part of your decision in going back to radio for a third time,
Gotcha.
was just like, okay, at least I know it like the back of my hand. It's comfortable and I'm going to keep building what I know I really want to do eventually.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, I've always, when I continued to boomerang back to radio, I would always go back to the same group. I would always go back to the same
Yes.
people. I never went and bounced from company to company.
Right.
It was always back to the same ones. Again, they were family. I started
Totally.
my career there, and they asked me if I would be interested in coming back and joining as the sales manager this time and leading the sales team. So it was an honor. It
Totally.
felt really special to be asked to
Yes.
come back and do that. There was a part of me, and I have a wildly supportive partner and amazingly supportive friends.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of people that were like, "Oh, what are you doing? Why aren't you just doing design full time?
Right.
Like, just do it.
Just do it.
You're busy.
We can
You have-
tell you love it.
Yeah,
And you're
you
so good at it.
Love it. And
Yes.
you've got a lot of clients and
Yes.
things are busting and popping. But the little bird on the other shoulder is like, but steady paycheck,
Totally.
like money. You gotta live.
I get it.
You don't want to have to sell a certain number of sofas
Yeah.
to pay your bills.
Totally.
So I had this fear, I think, of not wanting something I love to become something that I had to do.
Resented. Yes.
Yeah. Which, looking back now, is really just an excuse. And that's okay.
I mean, fear usually is. And I mean, it's very valid. We all experience it. And I feel like the cool thing is once you're in the hindsight mode, you're kind of like, oh, this isn't something I have to do. This is something I get to do every
Absolutely.
single day. And the fact that like everyone that sits across from me in this setting is like, we love what we do. And it's such a blessing. It's
is.
so crazy and so important to just quality of life. And it's something not everyone gets to experience. So,
yeah.
well, I'm so proud of you and just excited for you just launching into this like full-time thing with design, but you've been doing it for years. And so how did it evolve? Like really stepping out from it being more of a side thing to your full thing. Like talk us through how that felt. What was the lead up like? Did you have like a timeline for yourself where you like, if I'm not on my own by this time, like, like how did that look?
Yeah, it felt scary as hell is how it felt.
Yeah.
It really did. It was, I set a lot of timelines for myself and then I'd be like, oh, but another quarter of salary feels really comfortable. Gosh, if we could just hit this goal at the at the radio company, then I'll leave. I mean, so I will say I'm very thankful and very blessed and very lucky that my design business has grown completely organically, which is
So
funny. My
nice.
career was in advertising and marketing, but I've never advertised or marketed my business. It's all been word of mouth. It's all been referral. It has been just beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's just steadily grown. The projects have grown in size. They've grown in scope. They've grown in, what people are asking for and what we get trusted with.
Yeah.
And that's been really cool. So as that continued to build, it started to become this thing where I had like 2 full-time jobs. So I was working all the time.
Yeah.
Which is okay because that I'm built that way.
Yeah.
We work on vacation. That's just
Same.
kind of how life is. Not a big deal for me. But yeah, so I would set these goals and say, all right, by the end of this quarter, I'm out. Like I'm done. I'm going to turn my notice in. I'm going to give them, I'll give them, 6 weeks of runway. I don't have to leave.
Totally.
So I wanted to be really gracious.
Right.
And then I would kind of talk myself out of it talk myself out of it. And so then, we were coming into the second quarter of 2025. And I had told myself I would leave by the end of Q1.
Wow.
And finally I was just like, okay, just do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. Like jump.
Yeah.
You're standing on the edge of the building and waiting for someone to just push you off.
And it's gotta have to be you.
It has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Shout out to our girl Ruth, because I know you worked closely with her, and just like having that sense of a business coach and that advisement and just someone to really help you craft just not the dream of it all or the gut feeling, but really to be looking at the numbers and what makes sense. And I just know you've shared she's just been a pivotal part of that. And I feel that way too. I mean, it's really, I think, something important to consider if you are on the precipice of a big change or considering a career pivot or whatever, to maybe get some guidance and some advisement in that arena. Because it's like, it is scary. There is a lot to consider.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody.
Right.
Okay, so how has it looked since being on your own? Like, I know I checked in with you a few times in the early days because I'm just like, it's a big deal to not be going to an office around a bunch of people.
Yeah.
You're then like, you wake up and it's self-starting. Like, I mean, I know you already had clients and, you're good, but the day-to-day routine can start to feel lonely.
It can. Yeah, it really can. And it depends where you are. There's a lot of really cool, like, co-working spaces in town. So I recommend anybody who doesn't have the luxury of like an office space where you can go work privately in an office, go to a co-working space. There's some really great ones in Chattanooga or wherever you are watching or listening to this.
Right.
But yeah, so I am a self-starter and I'm a big routine guy. I wake up at the exact same time every morning.
Wow.
I leave the house at
7 days a week?
Oh yeah. No, 5 days.
Okay, the work days.
My work days
I was like,
are
wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're very scheduled. Like I wake up at a very specific time. I leave the house at 6:17 to get to the gym at 6:24.
Love it.
Yeah,
okay.
like I'm a little crazy like that. So getting into a routine in work was I'd be lying if I said I'm great at it.
Yeah.
I'm very scheduled.
I appreciate the honesty because I think people need to hear that. Yeah.
I mean, I'd be lying if I said that every day is very scheduled out because you do have a lot of flexibility and there's a lot of value in that and a lot of, freedom in that, but there's a lot of work to get done.
There's a lot of danger in that.
Yeah, there's a lot of danger in that. So if you have a lot of work to do, you've got to be able to figure out how to make it happen.
So true.
And I do like, I like seeing people, like having a space where I can like have a little bit of office culture.
Totally. Me too.
So I've got a phenomenal colleague that works with me. So she comes to the studio a couple times a week. We work together for hours at a time.
Which is, you have like a beautiful home studio or detached from your home. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. Very thankful for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah.
So how has Ashley, your colleague, how has she evolved with you in this? Like, did she start with you since day one?
No. So when I first started, I was obviously on my own. I figured out pretty quickly I needed help. I need like an assistant of some kind. So a friend had come on board with me right when I was starting to there was a show house in Chattanooga for the Junior League in 2016, actually. Met some really cool designers, got to meet some really cool folks. To this day, I'm still working with clients that I've gotten from that show house.
Wow, Rob,
crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's really cool. And it just speaks to like putting yourself out there. It speaks to just like jumping off the cliff.
Well,
even if
and
it's a small
was that
cliff.
like I'm sure that was like a opportunity you opted in for. Like you weren't paid to go be a part of that, but
correct.
like look at the residual business from that.
Exactly.
So I think that's another good thing we need to remember as business owners, no matter what stage of business you're in, like still go take those opportunities because it's going to lead to like so many connections and
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I always just felt so thankful to have been asked. I feel
Yeah.
thankful to be in the room. I feel thankful
So
to be
cool.
asked. So I don't want to let anybody down. I don't want to, I want to make sure I can execute. So that's when I brought my first assistant on, who's still a good friend. And then she had some changes in life and kind of needed to scoot. And I was looking for an assistant, and I put an ad out on Instagram.
Wow.
Like we do.
That's so cool.
Ashley and I worked out together at a CrossFit gym
Nice.
in town, and she was like, "Hello, we should talk."
That's so great. And you're like, okay.
Yeah, and that was
so
7.
cool.
That was almost 8 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
She's
that
been
is
with me for 8
so
years.
awesome.
Yeah, she's amazing.
She's
amazing, and like we've worked so well together. We kind of have the same brain.
That's so nice.
I'll be looking at sofas on a Tuesday night while I'm watching television, like randomly scrolling, looking for some particular item, and I'll find something and I'll text it to her, and she'll be like, "You're kidding!
I just saw
literally
this.
looking at the exact same
Wow,
thing."
that's so cool.
It's happened more times than I
That's so cool.
can tell you. It's crazy.
I love it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Okay, so let's talk about some of your projects. What has been maybe the most exciting project you've worked on in your design career?
Oh gosh. Well, first, I'm so thankful for every client that's ever trusted us, trusted me, trusted my team to step into their home and create something special that they lived with for a long time,
Yeah.
right? I'd say the most exciting project, the first really exciting project was probably Modern Muse, which is a dental office in town.
Gorgeous.
It was
yeah.
really cool. And it was exciting because it was scary as hell.
Yeah.
Truly.
Well, and I'd say you'd been a little bit more leaning on the residential end. So to be like in this corporate environment, good though it doesn't look standard corporate, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, I bet that was scary.
Yeah. It's, there's a big difference between residential design and commercial design. Huge difference. Very different skill sets. And again, imposter syndrome. You're like, well, okay, we'll figure this out.
Wow.
And, I was very confident that we could execute what we wanted to execute there. The key is having a great team. So I had a great team personally. And then the doctor and his team were phenomenal.
Nice.
The contractor was phenomenal. Everybody that was on that project was really, really, really great.
That is so cool.
Yeah. And we just flexed and bended and did what we had to do. And
it's really gorgeous. Yeah. So proud of you.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm loving all these like medical spaces or spaces that are then starting to present unconventionally like a medical space. You know, I just was chatting recently with Neha Shah at Beam, and her space is just stunning. And so I just feel like the power of design to create an environment that really makes people feel comfortable in a setting like that is so important.
It is. A lot of people have such anxiety around dental
Yes.
offices and medical practices in general.
Yes.
So to be given a little comfort in the space that you're sitting in, like waiting to have a root canal.
Yes.
Doesn't hurt.
It's, I mean,
It really doesn't hurt.
It really doesn't hurt to feel at least a little at home. Yeah, that's so nice.
Bringing beautiful original art into a space or a comfortable chair.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it changes the way an experience feels.
That is so cool.
It really does.
Okay, other project questions. Let's see. What has been, like, what's an instance where you maybe made a mistake and like really had to own it, and it was like a big, uh-oh.
Oh gosh. Which one?
Yeah, right. I doubt it.
It happens. Like every project is such a learning experience.
Yeah.
No matter how long you've been in any industry.
Really,
truly.
yeah.
And you do just kind of have to flow with it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there have been instances where I'm trying to think of like a real specific one. Okay, I have one.
Okay.
We did a condo for a client, and it was a really, really cool space. And when we were kind of assessing the entry and exit of the condo, the lady who ran like the association, the condo association or whatever, HOA, she was kind of like standing around in the background, just like arms crossed, just waiting and watching. And she was like, well, make sure you measure everything. And we were like, thanks. And we did.
Yeah.
So the day of install comes and the delivery team walks up with the sofa, and the sofa won't fit in the elevator to get up to the 7th floor condo that we had to install.
Holy, oh goodness.
Which, I mean, it's one of those things where you're like, oh my gosh, why? Why did we not? Why did we not do that one thing?
It will fit in the freaking condo. It'll fit through the door.
We're like, it fits through the doorway. It fits through the hallway. It'll make this turn.
So it wouldn't even fit up the stairwell?
No. So we were like, okay, what do we do? Let's go to lunch and cry and yell and scream and figure it out.
Oh, Rob.
So yeah, so we considered getting a crane and craning it up to the balcony and just eating it. Like, we considered just buying something totally different, cutting it in half. I've heard of instances where they have literally cut a piece of furniture in half and then rebuilt it in the property, like in the home. We ended up buying a different piece that was a couple of inches smaller. It was like from the same manufacturer.
Yeah. And client was happy with that?
Completely happy.
Wow.
Yeah, it was.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. I mean, it's not hilarious, but like, what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
You don't laugh, you'll cry.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and there are pivots. Like things happen.
Yeah.
You try. You have quality control at the manufacturing facility. You have QC when you receive a delivery. And even though you go through all of those kind of checks and balances, sometimes something just doesn't work, and you either have to figure out how to work with it or adjust and do something else. It's just part of it.
So in your industry, like over the years, what's been something that maybe you've learned contractually to add in or have a boundary with that you feel like people easily try to walk on designers or kind of in your industry?
Yeah, that's a good one too. There's quite a few things,
I'm
honestly.
sure.
Having a solid contract is really, really important. it's like sitting at dinner with a doctor and asking them like, hey, what do you think about this bump on my arm? Yeah, I mean, it happens a lot where,
Like, hey,
somebody
look at
will,
this lamp. What do you think?
yeah, which is fine occasionally for a friend as a
Right.
one-off.
Of
But,
course.
if you're in a professional contractual relationship with somebody, then there are parameters that need to kind of
Yeah.
be built into that. So I think one of the things I did not have in my contract early on was don't be buying things for the spaces that we've contracted that like we're designing for you.
Oof.
So
People would go out and be like shopping for their space.
Yeah.
Like, oh, incorporate this.
yeah. Which a one-off thing is not a big
Oof.
deal. Like, hey, we went on a trip to Belize. We found this gorgeous
Piece
lamp.
of art. Or
Like,
yes.
yeah, can you work
yes.
it in? Of course we can. You love it. It's
Yes.
special to you. Let's do that. But, if somebody's running out and they're like, oh, we bought like a sofa and 2 chairs and you're doing a living room, like, okay.
That's the
Not-
majority
not
of the
ideal.
project. Yeah. What?
So yeah, that would be one. I think communication, like boundaries around communication are tough, especially in 2026.
Well, and like late at night, like you said, people are scrolling and they're wanting to send links and be like, what about this? Yeah, that's hard.
It's a tough one, I mean, and we text with our clients a lot.
Yeah.
When we sign a new client, and some designers will not communicate by text in any way. And I respect that as their boundary. I don't mind it. But we have, as in any business, you kind of train people
Totally.
based on how you respond and when you respond.
Yeah.
Unless it's very clearly spelled out.
Totally.
We have an upfront conversation at the beginning of a relationship with somebody,
Yeah.
trying to lay out like, this is who we are.
Yeah.
This is how we work. These are the things that you can expect that maybe you didn't think about
Yeah.
if you've never worked with a designer before.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't mind if a client's texting me at 9:30 at night. I may not respond.
Right. And I feel
may
like
get you
people
tomorrow.
understand that.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah, but it's those things you
Yeah.
build in as you go.
Yeah. What are there any projects now that you just kind of don't take on? You're not interested in and you not even interested in, but they're just not a fit for you anymore. Or is it kind of like, no, we still have enough room for flexibility and like to try and
I love to speak to anybody who inquires with us.
Nice.
I think there's, because we've grown based on referral and we've grown based on word of mouth and reputation, I think it's just respectable and respectful to talk to everybody.
So true.
When it comes to what we'll take on, I mean, budget plays in.
Of course.
It has to play in. I mean, at the end of the day, which I hate that phrase, but truly at the end of the day, I'm a business. I'm running a business.
Yes.
I have people to pay. I have expenses. I have overhead. This is my income now. This is my sole income. So, as I look at it, look at a project, I have
Yes.
to, explore, okay, what else do we have in the pipeline? What are we working on currently? Do we have the bandwidth to give this
Absolutely.
the attention it deserves?
Absolutely.
That's another big
Yeah.
kind of thing that you have to consider when you're looking
Right.
at clients.
Right.
Like, look, I think this would be a great project, but gosh, we're in the middle of, X number of projects right
Yeah.
now. I don't think we can give it our full attention.
No.
You can wait 6 months,
Right. Yeah, I think that anyone respects and appreciates that.
Yeah, a lot of designer, people have specialties, people have focuses.
Yeah.
Majority of designers will do, full home furnishings, a block of rooms and as furnished, do remodels and ground up new builds. Those are like the main categories that we typically like to work in.
So I know at one point, and I think you still do this, but I mean, you're even you dabble with even just sourcing pieces for people.
I do.
Which is really cool. You've done
do.
it for me. Love.
Yeah.
So I didn't know for sure if that was like a friends and family thing, but that's part of your business, which I think is super cool.
It is.
That really allows, I think, the consumer to come to you maybe without the biggest budget in the world, but really get something quality and design with truly designer, that feels very unique and not something that I would just go find at wherever everyone else can shop,
Right.
And so that is something I really appreciate. We're still young and growing our family and, we're not at the place where we can ball out on rooms in our home yet.
Right.
Hopefully one day.
Someday.
But yeah, I'm like, I think that's such a cool piece of the business. Talk to me a bit about that.
Yeah, I think what's really, really so special and fun about what we do is we have access to so much. there's so many resources out there that are available only to the trade that the general public does not have access to. So, when you talk to a designer, whether it's me or somebody else, there's some designers that have chosen to have a retail store. And if you have a retail store, you represent a certain number of lines, a couple of different brands. Let's say you have 4 sofa brands and you've got 7 case good lines and you've got a bunch of like small wares that and gifts that you represent. Other designers choose not to have a storefront, but you still are essentially a retailer.
Yeah.
So we have access to literally hundreds of vendors.
Wow.
Which opens us up to a lot of different product. Because we're sourcing for clients, we see so much. I mean, we have this inventory in our brains that just never ends. And we're, and I love antiques. I've opened like a kind of an antiques portion of my business. So sourcing unique pieces for clients, we love to do that.
That's so cool.
And you never know, again, it's relationship building. You never know where that's going to lead. It's like, hey, I need a light or I need a sideboard. If you run across XYZ, let me know.
Right.
Then, who knows, a year later, 2 years later, maybe
They're
that
like, hey,
client
do the room.
buys a new house or wants the room redone around that piece you found.
Yeah.
So again, that's why I try not to ever say no. I mean, boundaries.
Of course. Of course. Who is your like ideal client, do you think?
Goodness. Yeah, ideal client is somebody, like dream client or ideal client?
Is that 2 different things?
2 different things.
Definitely. Okay, dream client. Let's go for dream.
Client is somebody that says, what's a budget?
Heck yeah.
And we love your taste and do whatever you want. Surprise us.
Okay.
We have no parameters.
Wow.
That's
and that doesn't
client.
Scare you at all?
No.
Like you don't think you would do that and then they would be like, no.
No, because I hope we've built in the systems and
the checkpoints.
The checkpoints where, we get an idea of what that client is going to respond to, right? So that would be a dream client. And those are out there. Those happen.
Those are out there.
Those happen.
Wow.
And I think an ideal client is somebody who does truly, whether they've worked with a designer before or not, somebody that truly understands how it works, whether you've taught them how it works or they have gotten it from a past experience or they're just savvy in design.
Right.
And somebody that respects the process. I think that's the biggest thing that's hard for people to understand is it's a process.
Yeah.
And sometimes you may think something's not happening, but there's a lot going on behind the scenes.
Oh, I'm sure.
They're anxious. They're spending a lot of money. A lot of people will collect their home over the course of a lifetime or over many years.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this living room table I bought in 2010 and I got the sofa in 2018. And you slowly pick things.
Yes.
And then sometimes you go into a room and you're doing a whole room or a whole house. The number kind of surprises people.
But if you're expediting a lifetime's worth of collecting, that is really costly.
It's a chunk.
Yeah.
It's a chunk of money.
Yeah.
Wow. So an ideal client, I think, understands that and they're prepared for that and they get how the process works and they kind of just lean into the flow of that we lay out.
Right. How would you describe your design style?
Oh gosh, that's the hardest question.
I know.
It's the hardest
I almost
question.
didn't ask it, but I really am curious if you guys, and maybe it's not defined and that's okay. Cause kind of a question I was toying with in that is, do you walk in someone's current space thinking they might want to hire you? And do you kind of just have a gut feeling that you're not a good fit for that client based on their already current style? Unless they're just like, we love what you do and we hate everything we do now, but most people are going to want some piece of what they've maybe built over time to still live in their space.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say there are definitely instances where you can get a vibe check from somebody and understand whether you're going to be a good fit or not. And sometimes it's not a good fit and that's okay. I think
do you let them say that or you'll pass on it if you just feel like it's not a good fit?
I'll have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
For sure. But we work in such a great community that there are so many designers in Chattanooga, in the Southeast. I've referred clients to other designers.
Cool.
I've had other designers refer clients to me.
So cool.
There's plenty of business to go around.
Yeah.
And I think that, that's what's so special about this industry and this place is that, I don't think that I have a style to answer your question.
I love it.
I think
love
that. I think our job is to elevate our clients' spaces, right? So whether your space is a completely empty raw space or your space is furnished and you don't like it, or you just want to know like, how do I fluff this dining room?
Right.
Our job is to go in and to show you things you never could have possibly thought about because of what we're exposed to.
So cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, that's so fun.
It really is.
So fun.
It's great.
What right now is kind of the time frame from like, say if it's a room, like a living room, what's the time frame from the time you're first having the meeting to its installation and completion?
Probably, and this is like a very average kind of number, I'd say probably 3 to 4 months.
Wow.
It's a lot of work that goes into the back end of it. It's everybody, they hear you're a designer, they're like, oh, that must be so fun. And like, yeah, sometimes.
But it's probably logistics.
10% design and 90% logistics.
Yeah, that's a lot.
But yeah, it's probably 3 to 4 months for like one room.
One
because,
room.
You're meeting with the client, you're then taking what they've given you and you're going back and you're concepting and you're researching and trying to understand like what is the best fit for this space and for these clients and what is the best possible outcome, right?
Yeah.
And then you go back and present it. And then once they've accepted the presentation, then begins all of the back end work where you're reaching out to vendors, you're getting fabrics pulled, you're having things custom made or custom covered. Things take a long time to make.
Yeah.
And then they get warehoused and then they get delivered and then we have a big install. So it's a process.
And it's almost like you got to stack and wait for it all to arrive. So it's one big install day or a couple days and it's not like half the room's in, you know, that no one wants that.
Nobody wants that. Yeah. I mean, we live in an HGTV world where everybody thinks it's a big reveal, right? And sometimes you get the luxury of doing that.
Yeah.
But no, ideally, like we really like to install in one shot.
Yeah.
When you bring things in like one,
it's
2 pieces at a time, it is.
Yeah.
And it gives somebody they can't see the full vision of what you're seeing and what you've created. And if you bring things in one at a time, they can stare at it and pick it apart and then be like, I don't like this.
You're like, crap.
You're like, but wait, because there's so much more that's
it'll
built.
make sense.
Yeah. So that we really try.
That's smart.
We almost insist on that.
Do you ever and this is literally just naivety, but I don't know your industry very well. But like, do you ever like reuse pieces in different installs, or is that kind of a big no?
Like
or
if we find a table we love, would we use it in
like
2 different
curtains,
homes?
or like anything?
Not often.
Not often.
Not often. I mean, it happens for sure.
Okay.
And there are definitely like designers that are known for a certain look or a certain style.
So they're probably reusing more. And
Yeah,
that's
maybe
just
they have
your
found
own choice.
things that they love.
So it's not like an industry-wide no or yes. It's just kind of your,
It's your thing.
It's your thing.
Some designers are very much like, I will never use this coffee table in anybody else's home. It's unique and it's yours. I'll never source it again for somebody else. But then there are designers who have a certain style and a certain look, and people request that from them.
Yeah. So it's kind of you appreciate and more take a very unique custom approach to every project.
That's what we really try to do.
That's really cool.
That's what we try to do. Yeah. All of our drapery is custom. It's all custom made. There's been an occasion or two where maybe we've repeated like a coffee table or a side table.
Right.
But the major pieces we really try to make special.
I could see that. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay, let's do a little rapid fire here. I've got some fun questions. Okay, one design trend you love right now?
Ooh, goodness. I love vertical siding a lot.
Ooh.
Vertical siding, like interior, wood clad. Exterior vertical siding, I think, is really beautiful. I was going to do my studio in it, but it was cost prohibitive.
Oh, understood.
But beautiful, yeah.
That's awesome. One design trend you're ready to see go?
Oh my goodness. Probably boucle, white boucle.
Yeah.
It's pretty, but it's been done.
Mm-hmm. Something people think is timeless, but isn't.
Oh. Something people think is timeless. I mean, the color gray.
Yeah, God help us.
People still think gray is timeless. It's not.
Dated.
It's dated.
I love it.
Yeah.
A splurge that's always worth it.
Oh my goodness, lighting. Lighting is always worth it. Well-built upholstery is always worth it. Drapery, custom drapery is always worth it. It's expensive. It's the thing that's going to make you like catch in your throat and you have to digest it. But it always up levels the space.
Wow.
It does.
Okay.
Yeah.
A place you'd tell people maybe to save their money.
You know, lamp makers are going to hate me for saying this, but I think sometimes you can save money on lamps. The range of a lamp is wide.
Yeah.
Is wide. You can buy a lamp for $50, or you
Right.
can buy a lamp for $5,000.
That's insane.
It's wild.
That is wild.
And I mean, there are some absolutely beautiful pieces of art that are lamps.
Yeah.
But I think there are ways you could get a really basic lamp and do a really interesting shade on it. I think that's a place you can
That's
save
so
money.
cool.
Yeah.
Biggest design ick.
Oh, goodness. Biggest design ick. I'm going to go back to gray again. It's, there's so many, hear me and don't hate me, but there's so many flippers and people that are trying to make a quick buck, and they think they're doing a house a service by painting everything gray and making it just easy and putting LVT down in every space. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Like, just go outside a little bit, go outside the box a little, put a little bit more thought into it. I think that would really help our community as a whole.
Yeah, go a long way. Yeah, I totally see that. Okay, let's talk about your art curation. I feel like you are just, that's a huge area I really admire you. We've had some fun crossing of paths just in different art scenes. And yeah, how can art transform a space? And what are you looking for? What's the most impactful? Is it scale? Is it color? Is it style? Talk to me a little bit about just looking and buying art.
Oh gosh, it's so fun. It's so fun.
It's so fun.
I never, as a younger person, would have thought I would love art like I do, or be a collector of art. And that doesn't even mean you have to collect very expensive art.
No.
Life throws you what it throws you sometimes, and you become an art collector. And gosh, all of that is important. Scale is important. Color is important. The medium is important. I think buying things that you love, things that you're drawn to, are the things that make a house a home.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, I think, get caught up in having to have something on every wall. So you run to Home Goods and just buy a bunch of crap and you throw it on your walls, and then you're done. You don't have to do that. And there's nothing wrong with going and getting a thing at Home Goods that you love and putting it on a wall. If you see me at Home Goods, I'm at Home Goods sometimes.
Totally.
Love it. But, mixing in really cool stuff that you're drawn to, that you find at an art fair. I mean, you can find something at Dirty Jane's that somebody that had another life in somebody else's home
So
for
true.
100 years. You can find architectural fragments and turn that into art. There's just so many cool ways to incorporate art into your life. I love it. I'm involved with the Hunter Museum, on the trustee on the board. I've been involved with that organization for years and years and years.
Yeah.
And I'm very thankful for the exposure they've given me to art, the people I've met through art and through that organization in general.
So cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's
I have
awesome.
clients that are very involved in their art selection. They either already have huge, beautiful collections, and we sometimes help them add to it. We help them sometimes place it. We've helped clients reframe pieces so that it's now shown in a completely different light, in a different space, and that's really cool. We have clients that don't know anything about art and don't care.
Yeah.
And we have clients that sometimes trust us to bring them things
Yeah.
and show them, hey, what do you think about this?
So cool.
Yeah, for me, anything can move me when it comes to art. It's just, I'm drawn to things just naturally. I don't know. It's just kind of if I like it, I like it.
Yeah. And you just trust your gut. You don't have to have a big reason to like it. You're just
Yeah,
I love that.
I'm a big gut guy.
Yeah. Big gut guy.
Big gut guy. Don't title this Big Gut Guy, please.
Okay, we won't.
Okay.
But that's funny. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Okay, what would you say to someone, just kind of circling back to the first part of the conversation, what would you say to someone who's stuck between the choice of stability or the choice to really launch and do something they love?
I would say go for it, but go for it in a smart way. I think there is so much to be said about trusting your gut, but there's so much to be said about doing something you love and you're passionate about, as opposed to doing something because you just have to do it.
Yeah.
I am very thankful that I have a supportive partner. I have supportive friends. I have supportive family and a beautiful community that has supported me along the way. And none of that is taken for granted. None of that comes for free. I think that, you put in the work, you treat people well, and hopefully you get that back.
Yeah.
But I say, if you're set up in a place to go for it, and I don't mean you have 2 years worth of money put
Yeah,
away.
no.
Like that would be too smart and sensible.
Correct. Don't get carried away here.
Yeah, don't get crazy.
Have
like,
some risk.
Yeah, I mean, but you have
Yeah.
to be smart about it. I probably
Yes.
wouldn't make a big leap if I had a wild, outrageous amount of debt or something.
Right.
But I think there is so much value. And I will say that not focusing on the money too much is so important.
Oh,
Just
that's a
don't.
good one.
It'll come.
Yeah.
If
Yes.
you have passion, if you love what you're doing and who you're doing it with and who you're doing it for,
And you're putting the work in.
and you're putting the work in,
It's so true.
everything will happen the way it's supposed to.
That's so cool. So true.
Yeah.
Do you feel more like yourself in this chapter than you have before?
I do. And it's probably a million reasons. I mean, we're older and we're wiser.
Yeah, here we are.
But yeah, I definitely feel more like myself.
That's so
My
cool.
day is what I want it to be. I really wanted to, a big part of wanting to do this was to slow down,
Yeah.
and understand more about what kind of life I want to live. I mean, it's easy for anybody to get caught up in the, I've got to move up in my career and I've got to get that next promotion or get that next job or get that next car or whatever the thing is that you're always chasing. I think to be able to find some time to sit with yourself and understand and figure out like what is truly important. Like how many
Yeah.
more, I'm going to regret saying this, but how many more white button-down shirts do I need? Or how many more
Yikes.
pairs of loafers do I need?
Totally.
Yeah, that's great. And if you love it, do it. If you love it, go for it. But truly thinking about what's important to
Yeah.
you. Is it important to walk your dog and be able to spend time with your dog or your child or your spouse or by yourself, reading a book and not stressing out?
Not
or-
having anxiety or be checking your clock all the time or it's
and it was
so
important to
true.
me. It was important to me to be able to like slow my life down a little bit and
So true.
notice the seasons that are changing and, put time and energy into the people in my life that I care about. And there was more value in that to me than continuing to try to climb a ladder.
Have stability. Yeah. So good.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
If someone walked into a space you designed and felt one thing, what do you hope that feeling would be?
Oh, comfortable.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Comfortable. It doesn't matter how much the space costs. It doesn't matter how many pieces are in it. I just want them to walk in and feel really at ease.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Robin, fill in the blank for me. The heart of Robin Praino Interiors is.
I think the heart of Robin Praino Interiors is gratitude.
Love
I'm
that.
very grateful. I'm grateful for this place that I'm in my life. I'm grateful for the people that I get to work with, the people I get to work for, people that support me. I mean, it comes back to community, which I think is what a lot of people answer. And I agree with it. And I'm grateful for that community. So
So
that's the heart
sweet.
for me.
Gratitude. I love it. Well, thanks, Rob.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks.